Okay, so we're going to jump in and we're going to start by creating our Acuity scheduling account. And then after we've done that, we're going to set it up so that for each new appointment that gets scheduled, it'll automatically sync using Zapier, automatically create a Word document so that we can track the relationship with that or the conversations with that particular prospect. And it will also add the details to our CRM, which in this case, we are using the free CRM from HubSpot, but you could set it up to work with other CRMs as well. And that way we just have all of our data and information, contact details saved in the same place in the CRM, but also have it all sort of automated so that every time that we have something coming through Acuity, we don't lose it. Well, it's not limited to only being saved in Acuity, but it's all in one sort of central database. So let's start by going to Acuity. And then, so Acuity is one of my favorite, or it is my favorite scheduling platform. I used to use Calendly before, which was also really good and a great tool, and especially the free option. But now that I'm scheduling more paid consultations, then I'm also looking for something just a little bit more robust, and the opportunity to set up more integrations and more Zap triggers has moved me over to Acuity, and I really love the style of the platform, and also their marketing communication is really solid as well. So we're gonna use this here, but the same logic can be applied to if you have Calendly set up as well. It's just that the triggers are a little bit more limited in Zapier. So let's go through, and I'm going to take you through how to set up an account. And there's a lot of little bits and pieces you can set up. We'll try and move through it quickly, but I'm not going to get stuck too much in the weeds of this, but hopefully still be useful for you as well. So we're going to start by clicking Try It Now. And I'm going to use a temporary email address here. And we add in a password here. Create account. So the first thing we need to do is add some details for the account, and we're going to have a trial of a paid account until October 24th. So we'll start by adding name. We'll put it like this for now, and the business, and then the industry, and then let's get started. And then it takes you through a really useful walkthrough. So you can see here sort of the first 4 things that you should do to set up your account. So the first thing you can set up is the calendar availability. And then we can go down to the availability here. We click Edit Default. And this is where we can set up some nice scheduling limits. So if you go through each of these, they're very self-explanatory for what you should be setting up and what everything means if you tick it or don't tick it. So if you want clients to be able to edit and schedule and cancel and everything, you leave all these ticked. If you want to have a certain amount of notice before any of the appointments, 12 hours is good, so you don't get surprised. If it was just 1 hour, you might get an appointment scheduled just 1 hour from now, and it wouldn't give you time to prepare. And then here you can also set up start times. You can have it based on certain duration. There's also this very useful one here. If you don't want to show that you have all of these availabilities, so you can actually add in something like say 30%, so that it doesn't look like you're available 100% of the time, and it seems like you have some business, which is useful if you're starting out. And then we can also add in some restrictions on how many appointments clients can schedule. Minimize gaps in accounting. I like to tick this. In the scheduling, I like to tick this because it allows you to avoid or try and avoid certain gaps, or have larger gaps, so that you can do some other tasks in the day and you're not just getting stuck with a 15-minute call and then another 30 minutes and then another 15-minute call, but instead you can kind of cluster them together. And then you can also not allow people to reschedule appointments, at least not easily. Of course, they can always email you and let you know, hopefully, that they can't make it, but just not automatically without sort of letting you know a bit more in advance. So we save that. They're our default limits. And then we want to add in the times that we're available. So this particular calendar is the one I just created. So this is the default calendar is for me here. And we can set the hours that we have available. And it's really nice and user-friendly. You can either type it in as a specific each sort of 30 minutes. You could write, for example, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., etc. Or you can also run a time until, so you can go 12 p.m. until 1 p.m., for example, or it could be 3 p.m. Here we have 1 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Okay, so I'll get rid of that for a sec. And then the same for these other days. So this is going to be the default. We'll save that. And that's if we're going to have regular hours each week. And then we can also make changes further down here on the calendar if we want to make specific days which are different. Say we're going to be away or on holiday or something for a certain day, so we can edit. And let's say on this particular day we're not going to be available. There we go, closed. Okay, and then we can also go to calendar settings. And we can edit some of the features of the calendar. So we can change the calendar name. I've left it like this. You'll see later why that is, but you can add more details about the calendar if you wanted to. Obviously where the emails are going to be sent to. So this would actually be like that. Choose an image for the calendar. You can add a location. So let's say you want to have all of your calls at a certain location. We can add in. We're going to set up an integration with. We're going to set up an integration so that we can have the call directly with Zoom, using Zoom. So we'll do that in a little bit, but for now we'll save these details here. And then we come back to this page and we've basically done all that. Let's go now to create appointment types. And here, this is an example, but here we can create different kinds of appointments or services. So like if we keep it simple from a consulting perspective, we might do like a 30-minute consultation, let's say. 30 minutes here. We can call it intro consultation. If we're going to charge for that, maybe we call it $100. You can add an image if you wish, and then make it public if it's going to be something that the user can select themselves. Private you would use if you're going to set it up for just to be shared directly. Let's say it's like a cheaper rate or a free rate or something like that you don't want to actually advertise on the site, on your website or in the forms that are available in public. So we've got the intro consultation, there it is. It says 30 minutes at $100. Let's add a second one as an example. So we'll say in-depth consultation, there we go. And we can add in a little bit more detail as well. We'll take some time to delve into your business and explore options for growth, let's say. And we're going to make this 60 minutes. Total cost $200. Public, create appointment. Done. So we have these two options here. And then if you click edit, you can also even do a little bit more customization. For example, change the color. If you have a lot of different groups, a lot of different appointments, you can add them into certain categories. So we'll update that with the red, and we'll make the other one, we'll leave the other one as it is. Okay, and then the next thing we do, customize your client scheduling page. So daily it suggests as the default, and I think that is usually the most useful for people, so they can see when's the next time they can make an appointment. It automatically pulls this logo in for the from the website, from my website. This is a default that we've put there for social media sharing, and it'll suffice. It'll be all right to use in this case, but it depends obviously on your company, and perhaps could be better to be a smaller graphic just of your logo or just something relating to your business. But we'll leave that there for now. And then we can add in any scheduling instructions. So like, for example, some information that they need to know. So we look forward to having an engaging and useful consultation call. Change the week start, up to you on that one. Time format, language, time zone. I'm in Hong Kong, but obviously choose whatever time zone you like. You can then tick this box if you're international, if you're providing services beyond your time zone, so that users can select their specific time zone. So for a digital business, online business like my own, definitely need to tick this. But if you have a physical business, let's say you're using Acuity to schedule massages or schedule like face-to-face meetings in your city, then you would maybe not tick this box there. Change the default, change the color if you want to have a different color or some color relating to your brand. I like the blue, so we'll leave it there. Save changes. And then we go to sync with other calendars. And so the benefit of this is that you can sync it with your Google Calendar, so that if you have changes in your schedule or Google Calendar schedule, let's say something blocks a time, it'll also remove that as an option for any customers or clients looking to schedule at that time. So that's very useful. It's sort of two-way syncing. It'll add it to your calendar when you have a new schedule, a new appointment, but it'll also remove the option when someone else schedules at some other time, or you have another meeting that you scheduled separately outside of Acuity. So you just go here to connect to Google Calendar. And then if you have Google Calendar, if you've already logged into Google in another window, then it will make it pretty straightforward. Like so, allow. And then once you've done that, you go back to this page. And I've connected it just to make it simple for you, so that you can see we select the calendar that we want. We're going to block off the time in Acuity. And then if we want to block off time in any other calendars, I won't do that for now. And then set up automatic reminders. I like to have reminders, so I'm going to set that up 15 minutes before. And then we can click save for that. And then now it gives you some bonus things to set up, which I strongly advise you to also set up or look at. So we'll quickly jump through them. So you've got customize emails. So if you want to adjust these emails, let's say you want to add in your company name, you want to change it. If it's appointment, maybe it's something else. Call scheduled, if that's what you're doing, or maybe it's you're having some meetings or some other service you're providing. You can edit that there. This is the code that's used to pull in the dynamic information for each of the appointments. And then here you can also edit basically anything in this template that you wish. And here are the two. This is the default, but then this is the two specific ones you can edit as well. You can set up reminders here. So let's say, I think it automatically schedules a 24-hour email reminder. And you can also add in, perhaps you want to have a reminder earlier. So let's say 48 hours before, if it's something that involves more preparation, or maybe you want to have it just 1 hour before as well. So you can do that here by clicking add extra. Here we go. So it defaults to 48 hours, but I can make that 2 hours. And then edit the same template for that. The same here again, cancellation templates and rescheduling templates if you wanted to customize anything relating to those. Okay, let's go to accept payments. So the beautiful thing about Acuity is that you can accept payments for these appointments up front when the appointments are made. And so you don't have to manage or have any other setup for getting the payments. And you can plug it straight into your Square or Stripe or PayPal accounts. So here we select the currency. I've got it default to USD. And then you can select Stripe, Square, PayPal, or both Stripe and PayPal or Square and PayPal, right? So for me, I've offered both options, both Stripe and PayPal, because I use both, and different people have different customers have their preferences for how they want to make payments. So I'm keeping that flexible, and then you can select when they're going to make the payment, which has excellent flexibility. You add in your PayPal settings here, connect it up with Stripe here by clicking this and following the prompts, and then click Save Settings. So I won't go through that depth now, but you can hopefully follow that pretty easily if you're going to when you set that up. Here we have intake forms. So when the client fills in when they first fill in for the appointment, they add these details here, the name, phone, and email. But you can also add in some additional questions. So for some of my in-depth consultations, I like to ask a couple of questions to know a little bit more about their business and what they're doing. And so you might have the same sort of situation. Maybe something simple like what's their company name, or maybe what city are they based in, or it might be, or state or whatever, or it might be something more in depth, like what are their challenges, what are they facing, what are their big problems, etc. So that's here. You can click new custom form to create that, and then embed the scheduler on your website. So there's a few options here. So you can use the link here to link to the page, and we can also change this. This will create a short link. So for example, we could have, which is a nice shorter link that you can share to people. And then when people go to that link, it'll open up like this. Okay, we'll have a look at that in one sec. And then there's direct link. Then we have the embedded scheduler. So you can grab this iframe code here, copy that, and paste it in your HTML on your website, whether you're using Webflow or WordPress or whatever it is. Very easy to put that just where you want the form to appear on any page in your website. There's also a booking button, booking bar, and also Instagram link. So you can choose all these options for how you want to share or embed the link. And then the last one is you can add additional users as well. So let's jump back to that link. So here it is. This is how it looks. And here's what I added in, or we went through before. This is the short text. Obviously needs a little bit more detail there. That's just a very simple example. Here we can choose the appointment that we want. This is where we're selecting our time zone, if you remember. And then there's a lot of times obviously available here. So the user can select these things here. And they add their details, complete appointment, and then they get set up. Now, if we want to edit and get rid of, for example, this, where the user could log in, if they're a returning user, which I don't really need to have that feature at the moment. And also maybe want to hide more of these and some other customizations. Let's quickly jump into that. Edit that. We go into Customize Appearance on the client scheduling page, and then Scheduling Page Options. And then here we can edit or change all of these settings. So show schedule another appointment button. We don't need that. We just want them to have the one scheduling. So keep it simple. Disable recurring appointments. That's where the user can select recurring here, and they can add in multiple appointments. In this case, we just want one-off appointments. So we're going to tick that. Require a phone number. Yes, we want them to submit the phone number each time. So we'll require that. This is the client login and registration that we talked about here. So we want that to disappear, so we'll tick that. Hide duration, we'll leave that. Hide prices, we want to have the prices there so it's nice and clear at the beginning. And then collapse categories. At the moment we don't have categories, so we don't have to worry about that. So we can save changes there. Okay, great. So now that's ready. So we have our appointment all set. Let's do one now. I'll just refresh this page. We can do one now so that we can then use the Zap. So 10 a.m. Test, make test. Phone number. Use this email. There we go. So it's all added in here. Oh, the one more thing we wanted to do was connect it up so that we can have the call automatically. So we'll go to integrations. And there's many different integrations you can use here. We won't go through those. You can have a look on yours. Lots of useful ones, but we're going to use Zoom for our calls video conferencing and calls. So you click set up for Zoom, then you click connect to Zoom, and then you just sign into Zoom. So I'll sign in with my account here. So let's go through, that's logged in to Zoom. Let's double check that worked. Just find Zoom, let's just do that once more just to make sure it all connected in. Okay, so just got to select and set up the last stage for the Zoom integration. We're going to make sure it knows which meetings or appointments do we want to have the Zoom settings. And then enable to join before the host. Yes, we want to allow that our client to go to the room before. And we're going to use our personal meeting ID in Zoom. We're going to start meeting without video, just have calls for us. So we'll save that. And hopefully you've got Zoom set up. It's pretty straightforward to set that up. I'm not going to go through that in this particular video because I think it's already going to be quite long. But if you need any help with that, please let me know. So here we go with the settings. So Zoom's now enabled. It's going to use this location tag in the emails, and it's going to add the Zoom information to that location tag. So we'll save this. Let's go and have a look at those emails and just see what we're talking about here. So the initial here it is here, the initial confirmation email. That is going to be replaced with the Zoom link. So let's cancel this one and we'll reschedule. We'll schedule again. So let's go another 30 minutes. Choose a time. Okay. There we have the Zoom link there, ready to go. So when we are going to have the call with our prospect or customer, then the link is already there and there doesn't have to be any other follow-up for the call. So that's that done. Okay, so that's the setup for Acuity. And now we're going to go into the next stage, which is setting up Zapier and syncing this Acuity information with Zapier, using Zapier with Google Docs and into our CRM, our sales system, HubSpot CRM. And we might also do an example for Pipedrive as well. So that those that are using Pipedrive, which is also really popular and one of my favorite CRM platforms as well. So stay tuned, follow on, and we're going to go straight into that right now.